Hello guys, today I wanted to talk about 5 reasons why many wound up attracted to a narcissist. Okay, you may identify with all 5, you may just identify with 1 or 2. Either way, I'd be curious, so let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so let's jump in. For those that don't know me, my name is Michelle. I'm the founder of the Thriver School of Transformation, which is a monthly membership where we meet together live and we work through the side effects of narcissistic abuse, complex PTSD, together. We work on the recovery journey from the inside out. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about that school, feel free to try it for a 7-day free trial period. You experienced narcissistic abuse in childhood. People that have been through narcissistic abuse in childhood find themselves attracted to narcissists because psychologically, that's what happens when we have unhealed wounds. Okay, not only when we have unhealed wounds, but when we learn to love a certain way. So for example, if you had a narcissistic parent that you had to chase to get them to notice you, or you felt like you had to earn their love because they gave conditional love. Well, when people give love to you easily, it might not feel the same. It might feel a little bit off, but when you have to kind of fight for it and strive after it, it might feel familiar. And it's not because anyone wants to punish themselves. It's not because anyone is choosing abuse, but it's because sometimes if we have unhealed wounds, psychologically, our brain wants to resolve issues. And if it has unresolved issues, it will help us to find circumstances where we can kind of reenact the same dynamics in the relationship. And our brain thinks, well, maybe this is an opportunity to heal it. But unfortunately, we wind up repeating it, okay? And this is especially the case. This is especially the case if you find yourself in more than one relationship with a narcissist and they're just getting worse. Like the first one was a overt narcissist. Then you went to the covert narcissist. Then you went to the vulnerable narcissist. And maybe now you're with a psychopath. It seems to be getting worse, but it's like a repetition of the same kind of person over and over. There's an unhealed wound that is causing you to find yourself attracted to these people. And that's why when somebody leaves a relationship with a narcissist, it's not about learning as much as you can about them. That's all fine and dandy. I mean, that's important. I'm not trying to lessen the importance of that. But what I am saying, if you don't heal that wound, your logic will kick off and you will still repeat again, because that's what happens. And a lot of those behaviors, they're unconscious. They're from our subconscious mind. So we don't always necessarily notice, and our subconscious overrides our conscious. Okay, so the red flags you memorize are part of your logical, conscious thoughts. Well, that gets turned off when your subconscious kicks on. Okay, so it's really important to heal those wounds. Number 2 is you may be attracted to qualities they portray that you lack. Okay, so if you have low self-esteem, you don't have a lot of confidence, maybe you're not very outgoing, but the narcissist has all of these qualities. It's normal and common to be attracted to a person that has the characteristics and qualities that you admire and wish you had in yourself. So again, for that reason, in order to not fall for another narcissist, it's not just about memorizing red flags, it's about strengthening your self-esteem, how you see you. The more empowered you see yourself, the more empowered you're going to show up, and you're going to attract something completely different. Number 3 is if you identify with codependency traits like taking care of people. If your identity is very much, I'm a caregiver, I like to give, I like to do for others, which by the way are beautiful qualities. Okay, but if we over-identify with those qualities, it falls on the line of, I only feel good about myself if I am fixing or helping. And again, that stems from childhood as well. If in your life you were only praised or made to feel good when you were helping someone, then there's a belief that if I'm not doing that, then I don't have value. Okay, and there's no judgment in any of these, because guess what? If you're watching this channel, you understand narcissistic abuse. I'm talking about it, so I understand it as well. So we don't want to judge ourselves for any of these that we've fallen under, but we do want to bring them into our conscious awareness, because if they're not in our conscious awareness, we can't upgrade, we can't update them, and we will continue to repeat patterns that are stuck in our subconscious mind. The fourth reason is if you're very naive, in the sense that maybe you were brought up very sheltered and you never came across toxic people in your life, but you're a very empathic, caring person, and you think that everyone is who they say they are. And that's because you are who you say you are. So when the narcissist comes along, they're very good at talking and telling you how they are, but their actions and their words are never on the same page. But somebody that's very naive and overly trusting, maybe because they were sheltered, will believe it and will fall into cognitive dissonance. And that's another way that they get trapped. And then the last way that I want to mention is if you've been duped. Like, I've had clients come to me and they had relationships with narcissists, and they didn't have a bad childhood. They didn't have codependent tendencies. They are pretty grounded. I mean, none of us are perfect, right? But they were pretty together. They had a secure attachment style, but they were duped into falling for a narcissist. And usually those people, they usually wind up coming out of the relationship pretty quick. Usually a year, maximum 2. Whenever somebody comes to me, they're like, oh my goodness, I've just been through a relationship. I don't feel like myself. And they tell me they were in it for 6 months or 9 months before getting out. They're usually the ones that fell into the category of they were duped. Maybe they were physically attracted to this person, or maybe this person mirrored them, which is what narcissists tend to do. Everything that you love, they love, right? And you're thinking, wow, this person is like amazing. I found my other half. When the reality is they're just copying you in order to kind of reel you in. And I'll never forget this one client that I was working with. He went through this situation and he's like, Michele, so what you're telling me is I fell in love with myself. And as we're talking, I asked him, I was like, well, before she met you, like before, because they knew each other before they started dating, the things that you guys loved and had in common, did you see that in her? And he was like, shoot, no. In fact, people told me she changed so much. She was so different with me. Now they were out of the relationship, right? So I was like, okay, is she still doing those things that she was so passionate about while with you? And he was like, no. And it really hit him just how duped he was by the mirroring that narcissists do. Okay, those are 5 reasons why a lot of people wind up falling for narcissists. It's not to judge. It's not the point. Blame. It's not even to take blame on oneself. It's about understanding ourselves better so that we can change any patterns that are coming up that can cause repetition of things that you don't want to happen again. So I'd be curious which ones you identified with, if any, and if there's one that I missed, let me know in the comment section below.